For today's tackle tip, we join Captain Chip Sheehan to learn his top kite fishing secrets that have propelled him to many prestigious tournament wins over his legendary 25-year fishing career. Hey guys, Captain Chip Sheehan here with Captain Ed Skiko. We're gonna go over some techniques and some tips of kite fishing, some things that we do to make it easier for you guys and show you guys what we do and how to fly the kite. First off, as far as the kite goes itself, the bridle is what's gonna make it fly higher or lower. If you see a kite kind of bucking at all and doing the sway thing, your bridle is gonna go back closer towards the kite, which is gonna stabilize the kite. A lot of times you'll be attaching helium to the kite. And when we attach helium to a kite, a lot of people will just tie their helium balloon directly to a spar, which is fine. We personally, we like to use wax line. And the reason why we use wax line, we do it for a couple reasons. You can make an adjustment with wax line, because once you tie that balloon off, with all helium so expensive today, once it's tied off to your spar, you're kind of committed unless you take the whole spar off the kite, put it on another kite, which you could do also. But we like to use wax line so we can cut it off, move it to a different kite. We can put it in a different area. Just something that we do. It's one of our things. Eddie, you got anything you got to touch on?
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. A lot of guys will do the big pieces of wax line and kind of hold it there like the old kite thongs. Yeah. Corner to corner, corner to corner, and then they use tape to tape that X. We used to do that a lot. We kind of went this route because it's faster and kind of just gets it out. And like you said, you can make, once you put the tape on there and stuff, that kite's done. It's done. So up to you. What you want to do though when you're tying it to the wax line is that knot on the balloon, you want to get it as tight as you want to that spar. You don't want that wax line to be coming off this much. Your whole kite's just going to be floundering everywhere, which is going to go down the line and it's going to affect your bait.
There's someone.
There it is. There's like two reasons the kite's going to go down. Either A, there's not enough wind, so there's not enough pressure on the kite, yeah. Or you have a kite up and for whatever reason the wind starts blowing in excess and that puts too much pressure on the kite. So they make different kites. Some of them have holes, right? Different size kites. They go from, the white kites are the big ones that have the most surfaced area. This is just a standard regular Tiger's kite. When it gets really, really windy, we'll use the kites with the holes in them because that will relieve some of that pressure off the kite. Now, if you got a kite like this up and it's been flying all day, and next thing you know, it starts going, like it's gonna go in the water. Most people are like, oh, it's going in the water. Well, let's push it and try to get it to come in. Well, it's going down because there's too much pressure on it. So if you go to pull it in, you're just gonna put it in the water that much faster. What you do is actually you go over there and you go to free spool or you back the drag off and relieve some of that pressure, kind of let it slip out. Hopefully that gust stops and then get it out of the air and put a different kite out. First thing you do, especially when you buy a new kite, is we like to use spray nine or some kind of cleaner and scrub them, rinse them off and let them dry. Helps them fly better. Then when you talk about how the kite actually itself works, obviously this goes right to your snap swivel onto your electric reel. And then the bridle right here, the closer this bridle, you can push it up and down. The closer it gets to the center of the kite right here, the lower the kite's gonna flow. It's gonna change this angle, okay? So if you put your kite up and it looks like it's gonna be too low, you can bring it in real quick and just go ahead and pull that bridle back. And you don't have to do huge adjustments, just a little bit at a time, maybe half an inch or so, not even, and then try it again, and usually it's gonna be better. Same thing, if it's too high, just come back in and just push that back in a little bit. Now, obviously, we fly two kites a lot, most of the time. And so you want your kites to get banked either side. You don't want your two kites, touching each other. So what we do is we'll add these split shot, these little weights. Now, whatever side you want that kite to go, like this is a right kite right now because you have your leads on the right side. So it's gonna put more weight on this side and it's gonna actually tilt the kite like that in the air. So when it goes out, it goes this way. Now the left side to be the complete opposite, you would just put your leads over here. Now, the more lead, it's gonna get, it'll bank it more. If you put too much lead in though, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna wanna dip into the water. So just kind of figure out where you wanna put your leads. Sometimes you use one big split shot you might be able to get away with. Sometimes you add a couple here and there. Some guys put them here. You can even take one of those rubber core leads and put it on the back of here, and that works as well. And then when you're putting the kite out, guys, you wanna make sure that this line doesn't get wrapped around the tip of this spar, because that'll affect how the kite's gonna fly and it's probably gonna go in the water.
Label your kites, guys. Some kites that you have will just be a natural right. And we'll buy some of our kites, our older kites, we'll have an R on it because there's no reason to fight it. Some of them just want to just be a right kite or be a left kite. So you kind of got to, it's something you got to get to know about your kites, and you'll know which kites fly good and what conditions, but we label a lot of our kites to natural rights or to natural lefts, and it helps out a lot. These are Daiwa Saltiga 50s. They're spooled with 20-pound line. A lot of tournaments we fish down 15-pound line. We have 300 yards of backing on each of our reels underneath it of braid, so it gives you more capacity. So between the mono and the braid, you're closer to 800 yards. The rod's inside, very light rod, fast action, light tip, so you can fish a lighter line, not burn the fish off. Depending upon what we're doing, charter fishing, we're usually fishing 40-pound leaders. These are 40-pound leaders. When they're tournament fishing, sometimes you go down to 30 or 20-pound leaders. From the rod itself, we have a bimini twist, which gives you the double line. Doesn't need to be that long. I prefer shorter bimini twist. To our kite ring that goes attached to your kite clip. Our cork and your lead's going to vary depending upon the wind and the conditions. We fish a little rubber bead, which keeps it a little bit quieter, so there is not that much stuff rattling, to a ball bearing small snap swivel. This is a 40-pound leader, to a Mustad 5/0 circle hook. That's pretty much our basic setup.
All the leaders have a perfection loop on this end. Very easy, goes right to the snap swivel. And then your hook. Now you are ready to go.
Organization's really key when you're sail fishing, whether you're fun fishing or tournament fishing. It's organization, preparation, and efficiency. And the way to be efficient is to have everything at your hands, you know, where you're not going into a bag or going into a hatch and trying to find this and trying to find that. So we try to make everything simple. We have a kite box here with everything that you pretty much would need throughout the day in our drawer, cut stick, cutters, rubber cores, split shots, rigging bands, snap swivels. It's all at an arm's reach. We try to make things more efficient. Like we have a rubber band holder and a needle holder with magnets, yo-yo holder that we can stow the yo-yos away so they're not in the salt water, they're not in the element. Makes your leaders, you know, last a little bit longer, and it's a lot easier to get them off and not get them tangled. But it's the little things that you do that make such a big difference when you're fishing.
Hey guys, to watch the next kite fishing tip, click the video on the left. Thanks for watching.